There was an article today in the Duluth News Tribune that talks about that Duluth to rethink the Skyway system. And so what they're saying is, the Skyway system was built in a different age, and it's less people downtown, and is it time to close it down because we should be trying to drive people to the streets because that's where the businesses are, as opposed to going up into the Skyway. I remember the same thing when I lived in Minneapolis, the same argument coming from the Skyway system down in Minneapolis, and it sounds as insane to me now as it did in there then. I work downtown. I take the Skyway system. It's brutal downtown to walk down there in the winter, and it's not easy to get around on the streets. You've got street lights all over the place. You're standing outside in this howling wind and the freezing cold, and the Skyway is right there. It's connecting all the buildings. I don't understand the impetus for this. Have you heard of this yet, Dave? Did you hear about this before?
No, I've heard it about in the past, and it doesn't make a lot of sense because you're slowing the traffic down. They're worried about cars and emissions and climate change and all that garbage. But if you introduce people onto the streets, then you're slowing car traffic down, increasing the problems with exhaust going. Right. Keep the cars moving, keep the people in the skywalks where it's, like you said, where it's not 40 below.
Yeah. So Eric Forsman is the one apparently that's driving this. And then he came up with an idea that maybe we have to section off parts of the Skyway and only make it accessible to the key holders, because he walks downtown Skyway and there's some places that are unsafe. Further reducing it, making it just useless to people. The funny thing is I went to this meeting about this group that I think the city is paying to come and reimagine downtown to begin with. They're talking about converting office buildings to public spaces or to housing, which got its own set of problems in and of itself. And but the first thing that the people came in after listening to a bunch of stuff, these very smart people were there, and they're like, I live downtown. You haven't talked about the Skyway system yet. That is a critical part of living downtown. It's something that we all need, and the hours are too short. It's not safe enough. And those are the things they want to talk about, not whether you should get rid of it or not.
Right.
I don't mind having the conversation about what it's good for, but who's leading it and what's their purpose? Because this sounds like the same group that was down in Minneapolis saying we need to shut down the Skyway system and put everybody on the streets for the businesses that are on the street.
All you need is directories, because there's stairways down to local businesses. So you put up more directories and better paths with more security officers.
Right, and they do have directories in them. Most people know where they're going. It's not that hard, because the nice thing is you can look out a window and kind of know. It's most of the Skyway is going down Superior Street anyway, so it's kind of easy to know where am I, where do I have to go, and you can pop down on the street pretty easily.
But if you're most you're looking for tourist traffic, so someone from out of town, there should be directories all over the place so they can go and easily follow to the next step. Right.
Now, I will say they have been putting people in the Skyways. I don't know if you knew this, but in the morning, there's people there that are just there. I think they're in part just to help people out, especially during that long Skyway extension. But also I think they're there for security, to make sure that people aren't feeling unsafe, because you need to see somebody there to feel like you can go someplace and not feel like you're going to get attacked. Not that there's that much danger down there. There's some people that hang out in the Skyway, and it can get a little dicey when it gets really cold out. There are people that use it for heat, but that can be fixed by having people go out and have these security officers standing out there. So,
right. And the people that are from Chum and other places, go out and recruit to, get these people into secure locations.
Right. Right. Yeah, exactly. I did see this article. If you read it, there's one person that wrote a comment to it, and he's not a big fan of this closing off the Skyway. Not a big fan of Eric Forsman, apparently. When you start using nihilistic in your description of what somebody has written, they're not really on your side.
Yeah.